Ever wish you could just clone your expertise, make it available 24/7? Well, today we're going to do pretty much that. We're walking through the entire blueprint for Concierge Logic, a private intelligence system designed to automate expert-level responses. Let's dive in.
You know, it all starts with a single question. And I'm not talking about just any question, but one of those complex ones that would usually take you hours to sort out. The moment that question hits the system, a whole deployment sequence kicks off. And that, right there, is where the magic really begins.
All right, so what's actually under the hood here? Let's meet the key players in our tech stack. Think of these as the essential building blocks for your own private intelligence system. Each one has a very specific job to do in this whole automated dance. Every system needs a front door, right? Well, here, it's the primary inbox. This thing is powered by a Gemini expert response node. Just think of it as a super smart receptionist that instantly understands complex questions and knows exactly where to route them from the very start.
Okay, next up is the Neural Vault. This is basically the system's long-term memory. It's a private Pinecone vector database, which, there's just a fancy way of saying it stores all your data based on its meaning, not just simple keywords. And because of that, it can pull up your past decisions and expertise incredibly fast.
So if the vault is the memory, then the orchestrator, well, that's the central nervous system. It's built on a make.com scenario, and its main job is to manage the whole workflow, specifically something called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. In plain English, it finds the right information and helps write the best possible answer.
And here's where you come in. This part's crucial. The Approval Hub is your personal command center, and it's built right into Slack, so it's super easy to use. This makes sure there's always a human in the loop. The system does all the heavy lifting, for sure, but you always get the final say before anything goes out the door.
And finally, we have the knowledge source. You can think of this as the system's textbook. It's your one central place for all your SOPs, your core documents, all that foundational knowledge. This is what the AI studies to become an expert, not just in general stuff, but in your unique way of doing business.
So we've met all the components. Now let's see how they all work together. We're going to follow the data through a really clear 5-step logic flow, all the way from the initial question to that final perfect answer. The whole thing happens in 5 pretty straightforward steps. First, ingestion. A question comes in and the clock starts. Second, retrieval. The orchestrator goes and finds the most relevant knowledge shards. Third, synthesis. The AI drafts a perfect response. Fourth, staging. It gets sent over to you for approval. And finally, deployment. The answer goes out and the system gets a little bit smarter. Let's break that down a little more. It all kicks off with ingestion. The moment an expert-level question lands in that primary inbox, it triggers a lookup signal. It's kind of like firing the starting pistol in a race, and boom, instantly we're in the retrieval stage. The make.com orchestrator zips into the neural vault in what I can only describe as a precision strike. It identifies the top 3 most relevant little pieces of data, these knowledge shards, from your entire private history. Now for the really cool part, synthesis. The intelligence layer takes the question that came in and just fuses it together with the expert context from those knowledge shards. It's almost like a master chef combining a few core ingredients to create a perfect, context-aware dish completely from scratch. Then comes staging. The completed draft doesn't just get sent out automatically, no way, it gets pushed directly to your approval hub in Slack. This is that critical human-in-the-loop moment where you can review it, maybe tweak it a little, and then give the final command. And finally, deployment. With your one-click approval from Slack, the system sends out the email. But it doesn't stop there. It also logs that successful interaction right back into the neural vault, which creates this amazing feedback loop that actually makes the system smarter with every single question it answers.
So you might be asking yourself, why go through all this trouble? Why build this whole thing? Well, the answer becomes really clear when you compare it to the old way. The core benefit is just radical, undeniable efficiency.
I mean, just look at this contrast. On one side, you have manual research. It's stagnant. It takes days, or if you're lucky, hours. On the other side, you've got neural retrieval. It's high velocity. It basically moves at the speed of thought, getting you results in just a few seconds. This isn't just a small improvement. It's a complete game changer for your workflow.
But hey, talk is cheap, right? How do you actually prove this is working? How do you quantify all that value? Let's shift gears and talk about accountability and how you can audit the system's performance, because a claim of speed is pretty useless without proof.
Well, this system has something called a verification loop built right in. It tracks every single query and calculates the time you would have spent answering it manually. We call this metric founder time saved, and it gives you a clear, data-driven number you can pop right into your monthly ROI report.
And that audit trail is 100% complete. Every query, every retrieval, every minute saved, it's all logged and accounted for. There are absolutely no gaps, which gives you total transparency into the system's impact on your business and its overall health. So what does this all add up to? What's the bottom line? It's really about achieving two things: expert scale with automated authority. It gives you the ability to apply your unique expertise consistently, instantly, and across your entire operation, all without you having to be the bottleneck.
So that's the blueprint for Concierge Logic. It's a really powerful model for building your own private intelligence. If you want to see how you can actually put this into action and dive a little deeper, just visit Business Goto at businessgoto.ca.